Hi, everybody. It's Angel. How are you? So, today we are going to be talking about guides and guardians and angels and archangels. I'm still kind of setting up today. Here we go. Alrighty, Aphrodite, watch video. Let's see if I can do this. Ooh, this is so cool. I'm doing things a little differently because I'm doing them from my Raising Energy page now, which is really cool, and I'm really enjoying it. Hang on one second. Oh, okay. I don't know how to do that because I got to turn that down. Okay, good. So this is where I'm actually doing my show from, is the Raising Energy page, and I'm really excited about doing that. Can everybody hear me? I'm assuming everybody can hear me. Hi, Carmela. How are you? Good afternoon, Debbie. This is an exciting thing for me to be able to do because it exposes so much of the work that I do, and it's exciting for me. So how do we work with our guides and guardians? What are guides, guardians, angels, archangels, ancestors? Oh, thank you, Kim. I appreciate that. She says, I'm good for sound. This is a really huge topic for me because people feel that they are working alone, that they are always alone. That feeling of alone comes from a place of the mind. That's not the heart. The heart knows that it's not alone. So this is where I'm going to start today, I think. When I was a little girl, probably about 12 years old, I used to feel incredibly alone. Alone was a huge thing. I always felt not only out of sorts and out of place, as most misfits do, as most energy workers will, but I used to feel like nobody connected to me. I couldn't connect to them as much as they couldn't connect to me. Hi, Nancy. How are you? Here's the thing. I found myself one day sitting beside my bed. I used to sit on the floor. My cat used to sit with me, Muffin, and I heard, "You're not alone." And I started to realize there was this voice that kept talking to me, and I kept thinking, I'm thinking it's me, whatever, whatever. And one day I got quiet. I was so sad, even at 12 years old, and all I heard was, "You're not alone." Now, I was raised Catholic, and I believe that deity, source, great creator, is like a great big diamond. And I will talk about that. So as I grew up, I started to realize that that voice I was hearing wasn't my own. And it was this man. It was this man that was there. And I could even see his face, but I never made a correlation to religion or spirituality. It was just this man that I would hear. It would tell me that it's okay. And this feeling of peace would flow me. So as I got older, I started to realize that I was not really connecting to the Catholic faith on the level that was being presented. I was connecting, but on a very, very different level. So one day I was running, and I was in my 20s, and I'm running like, okay, I feel really good and everything. And I kept hearing the voice, and what is that voice? What is that? And I saw Christ, Jesus, right? And I'm like, okay, that's really cool. It's Jesus. That's what I grew up with. All right, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Oh, wait. And I just stopped. And I went, that's the voice of God. I've been hearing the voice of God telling me that I'm not alone. And even in my darkest hours, I never felt that. And it wasn't about God, it wasn't about Christ, because just after that, I had moved to the country. And I was sitting on the beach, and I started looking at the water, and I heard, the water is your sister. The earth is your brother. The sun is your father. The grandmother is the great grandmother. You are not alone. And as I was walking home, and this actually happened, I saw a raven fly by with a branch in his mouth, and he looked like the dove of peace. And it was so cool because in that moment, I had this revelation that I was not alone. Now, what does this have to do with the topic at hand? I'm actually getting emotional. Whoa, wasn't expecting that. That's probably my coffee kicking in. What does that have to do with guides, guardians, angels, archangels? It's a huge part of it. It is probably the biggest part of it. Because we have to realize that our family, our connections, our heart, our soul goes beyond what we physically and tangibly can see. We are not alone. The rocks have stories in them that have been carried for millennia. The water has the emotions of all those who've stepped within it. And all of us have stepped in water, even bath water. Where does it go, right? All the pipes lead down to the ocean. Nemo. The air that we breathe is the air that we breathe of our ancestors. And the fire releases all of the spirits from the wood and the essences it burns to be released up to great creator. All of these things are ancestral. All of these things are connected to spirit. All of these things are telling you you're not alone. You feel alone, go pick up a rock, sit with it, listen to the voices of the past. Take a breath. Take a breath. Those are your ancestors that you're breathing in, and you're breathing out your own story to add to that to those who come after you. So when we talk about guides and guardians and what have you, we're talking about connecting to those who can comfort us, guide us the way our moms or our grandmothers or our grandfathers could do, or those connections you have to your dad when you were a little boy. Pat says, I have been through a lot of stress from my family members being depressed. Will it get better for him? I'm exhausted. Pat, really, really interesting question. It can get better for him. And you can ask for him not to be alone, for him to have guidance. Because we're given these tribes of people, these tribes of entities, these tribes of spirits that are not just our own, but belong to others that we can access because of our love. And that's what connects us all, right? Ancestors, guides, guardians, angels, archangels, love. Love. Even those who are on the darker paths have a love for their path. They have a connection of reverence to the deities and the spirits they work with. It's all about love. It's to what degree and how you perceive love, right? There are those who are very happy souls, and then there are those who love sitting in misery. That is their happiness. I know it sounds really weird. Why would I bring that up? Because there are connections everywhere. There is a balance in everything. So when we grow up as children, we have friends in kindergarten. Then we go to grade 1, and over the summer, things may change with those friends from kindergarten. In grade 1, we make new friends. And then all of a sudden, that summer, things change. Everybody has that cathartic summer, that stand by me summer, perhaps not with the body, the dead body, but we all have that stand by me summer where we find that tribe of people. And then something shifts and changes within us over that summer to create a new who we are in that next year of school. High school, perfect example of that. Who you are in public school, who you are in high school is going to be different. Guides and guardians, angels, archangels, they can shift as well. Now, you have ones who will stay with you, but they do change as well. So Jennifer says, how can I connect to my father? Well, I'm going to show you that today. Today is the day to learn about connection. Actually, that should have been the title of the show, how to connect. Well, it is actually. It's how to connect to your guides and guardians. But before we even do any of that, I wanted to lay that foundation of connection. Debbie says, the voices, sometimes get it and sometimes wondering if I'm losing it. At first, that is what it's going to feel like, Debbie. Please note too that this is a day when you can come and sit with me. I'm actually going to put our guest link on. This is a topic I would like to talk to people about. I want to hear your stories. So if you want, you can sit with me and you can be a guest on my show just by clicking on this link. But please remember, okay, that you should turn off and turn on your computer because it gets rid of all the background apps. Carmel says, hi, show on, can't get it. Hang on a second. Go to my raising energy page. Yeah, let everybody know, people, we're at raising energy now, right? This is where we're watching the show. So for me, we have to lay that foundation of understanding that we are not alone, because there are things outside of ourselves that are actually part of who we are. Okay? And I want to hear your stories. Like, I want to hear Debbie's story. I want to hear Pat's story. I want to hear your stories of connection today. So please feel free to join me at any point. Okay, Debbie's going to try to come in. I can see that she's there, but I don't have a picture for you, Debbie. So I hope you're using your laptop. Turn off, turn on, make sure your camera and give it permission, okay? Or else we won't be able to see or hear you. So let's start from the start. Okay, let's start from the start. The reality for me reconnect, we are actually going to be speaking with or connecting to those that are trying to help us. So our first guest today is going to be Jennifer. Jennifer, hi, how are you? Let's start from the start. The reality for me. Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer? Jennifer, where are you? I lost Jennifer. Oh, there's Debbie. So we're going to bring Debbie in. Jennifer, I would love you to try again if you can. Debbie, how are you?
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so I know you've had experiences.
Can you see me okay, hon?
Oh, and I can hear you. Perfect.
Oh, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Okay, turn up your volume. Turn up your volume. Okay, turn up your volume.
Hello.
Hi. So turn up your volume on your video. So turn up the volume on your computer. Okay, on your computer, and there should be. Hang on a second. There we go. Does that help at all? She's there, so I don't know. Okay, so Debbie, tell us about your experiences. Tell us about who you are and your experiences. Can you hear me? Very strange. Okay, well, she's gone. So let's start from the beginning, okay? So at the beginning, what are guides? What are guardians? What are angels and archangels? Guides are those who are given to us from ancestral times or from this particular lifetime, depending on when we need them. Guides are there to literally guide us. They are literally there to give us direction. And what's really interesting is it's not just one guide that we need. Okay. Yeah. Jennifer had the same problem with volume. So I'm not sure what that is, but I know we have volume on our end. So if you guys want to come in again, maybe we can try something a little different. I'll just reload and see if that helps with the volume problem. Okay, so the big thing is guides are made guides. You can have many of them from many different cultures. Now, this is something I do get in trouble with. Because people sometimes are very pure about that. Well, you know what? You follow the Dianic path, or you follow the Odyssean path, or, you know, you are a follower of Hecate, so you shouldn't be connecting to guides who are not from that particular pantheon. But the reality is that for me, if they're there and they want to talk to you and they want to help you, why wouldn't you say yes? Why wouldn't you say, you know what? This is someone who's trying to connect to me to benefit me. Okay. We'll talk about how you can decide whether, or how you know whether they're there to benefit you or not. Guardians, self-explanatory. They're guardians. They're there to guard you. They're there to have your back in some way. Some are made to mentally help you, physically help you, emotionally help you, or spiritually help you. So sometimes guardians are very specific. Okay, and you can connect to other guardians as well. So if I have a child, I just by rote am able to connect to his guides and his guardians and his whatever, because we have that visceral primal connection of the umbilical cord. So even though you don't have a physical umbilical cord, that umbilical cord will always be there, which is why the mother is so powerful in the life of a child. Okay, and it's not to say a father isn't. It's just a very different connection. That's all it is. It's just a different connection. So those are guardians. When we talk about, oh, I see what I'm doing wrong now. Okay, good. So then we talk about guides. And guides are very different. Or sorry, guardians, guides. And then we're talking about, who did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about, I wanted to talk about what? What did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about.
So then we talk about guides.
Shut up, Angel. There we go. Sorry, I was on my Facebook page trying to get that so I can actually talk to you guys. So my thing is that you have guides, you have guardians, you have ancestors. That's where I was going. Ancestors. Ancestors are ancestors. Ancestors are your grandmothers, your grandfathers, your great-grandfathers, your uncles, your cousins. They are not your guides. Even though sometimes they can guide you, give you information, they are not your guides, okay? They are not your angels. Angels are angels, okay? We have earth angels. Those are philanthropic. Those are Mother Teresa-like, Gandhi. These can be considered earth angels, okay? But ancestors are ancestors, and that's all there is to it. So you have guides, you have guardians, you have ancestors, yes? These are all part of your posse. These are all part of your team. And what's really interesting, you will be able to connect to them like that, not even a problem. Okay, so I'm going to try Debbie again. I didn't know what was going on before, so let's try Debbie again, see if we can get some. And what's really, can you hear me this time?
I can hear you.
Yes, woo! I can see you and I can hear you. So it was on my end. I just had to reload. I just had to reload again. So if anybody wants to come up, we've just discovered.
Let me just.
Okay, try Debbie again. I didn't know what was going on before, so let's try Debbie. You go get volume. Turn down your volume. Turn down your volume on Facebook.
I can hear you.
Yes, woo! I can see your volume on Facebook. On Facebook, turn down the volume. There
the
you
volume?
Go. There you go. Yeah, turn down the volume on your Facebook. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's try to
turn down the volume
on your Facebook.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's better.
There we go.
There we go. You just
I can hear you.
On your Facebook.
I can hear you.
Right? So when you're on the radio, you got to turn down the volume on the radio because
I did.
So, okay, so tell me your experiences with guides and guardians and angels. Tell me your experience.
I'll just quickly tell you now that I've had a lady looking into my ancestry, and I've never been interested before, but it is fascinating. I'll just quickly tell you one little thing. I found out that we come from the Marcottes. We're one of the earliest French settlers in Canada. It goes back to 1480.
Wow.
I am so blown away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
now,
and this is
as for ancestral guides, as for guides or anything like that, I know there are people around me, but as I said to you, sometimes I don't know if I'm going, am I losing my frickin' mind, or is somebody talking to me? Like, that's how I run, right?
Yeah. So this is a really interesting question. I'm really happy you asked that question, because the difference between you imagining it and it actually happening, there are different keynotes to that. So if I'm doing the dishes and all of a sudden Great Aunt Bessie comes into my mind, that's an experience, right? That's when you say, you know what, hi, Aunt Bessie, thank you, I appreciate it. If you're looking through your photo book, and there's Aunt Bessie on every page, 9 times out of 10, that's you kind of, you might be calling her in, but you could also be imagining it, right? So that's when you have to ask, are you really here? Now, this is a huge topic, because how do you know if somebody is actually with you? You have to ask, okay? You've got to ask, are you here? Who is it? Because a lot of times when it's ancestors, it could be somebody from your past lineage. So you won't know who it is. And they'll tell you, they'll give you a name. You'll see a face, but never dismiss. So feelings are a very interesting thing, because a lot of times I will feel something and then all of a sudden I'll see something in a flash. I'll see a man's face or I'll see a woman's face. That's when you have to turn around and go, okay, who are you? And a lot of times they'll show you, I'm your ancestor, I'm a guide, I'm a guardian. Okay, and with guides and guardians too, remember that they can look like anything. You have to expect the unexpected. You can't expect them to look the way you perceive them or think they will. The more open you are to how they'll come to you, they could come to you as a flower or a cactus. They could come to you as a snake. They could come to you as some sort of abstract painting. Right? But the thing is it's all about don't dismiss it. Okay? Don't dismiss it. So you're not crazy.
It's hard. It's hard.
Sorry? It's only as hard as you
I
make it.
have said that before. Who are you?
Yeah. And then
I guess maybe I'm reading too much into it. Yeah.
And that's what we even
but it's hard sometimes.
It is. And it also depends on the space you're in, right? Because if I'm in a really bad space and all of a sudden my grandfather's sitting there, I'll be like, you know what, get away from me. I don't care if you're real or not, just go away. And sometimes, you know, my guy's mom will come in. She's been passed for 14 years. And I'll be sitting there going, is she really here or is she here because I'm having an issue with her? But then she'll show me something. So that's the other thing too. Show me you're here. Give me validation. Give me a sign. And then don't dismiss.
I need validation and I need more guidance, I think, because I'm not recognizing things that you're saying to me. I get it.
Yes.
But I'm not getting it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and that comes with experience.
Now, is there anybody old behind me?
Sorry?
Is there anybody old with me now that I've been digging into all the ancestry?
You have, it's really funny because you have a lot of people.
I'm looking for
you're actually a lot of people from your mom's side are coming through, and you're going to find that there's something as well about the war. World War I is going to start coming through for you. Okay, you're going to get ancestry on World War I. You need to listen to them better. You need to listen to them. So in other words, don't dismiss anything.
I've already been told by the ancestry lady that one of my great grandfathers was in World War I.
Yeah, so that's probably what I'm picking up on is the ancestry World War I. So he's there, but there are more there, not just him. Okay, there's him, there's his wife. I see others, and they really want to connect to you. So for you, it's about being really quiet and just going, what do you want to tell me? What do you want to tell me? Show me. And you might be directed to a picture. You might be directed to, and it might not be in the moment either. Okay, but you're on the right track for sure. Thank you. I'm going to get to our next guest. Thanks, Debbie. I love it when you're on.
Thank
you. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, I lost my next guest. All right, so Daniel says, Angel Morgan, have you ever thought of trying some sort of dating site where you connect people? No, I have not. Oh, I can't even believe you said that. That was like the theme of my weekend. No, I don't want to. Okay, there is reading people, and then there is being nosy. There is getting involved in people's lives where I don't need to get involved. People want to come to me, that's one thing. But for me to go to others and go, this is where you belong, this is where you belong, this is where you belong, to me, that's almost, it's almost interfering with fate because people need to find each other the way they need to find each other. And my expertise is not in that field of relationships anyway. I do a lot of relationship work, but in that particular thing, and it's so funny that you said that, Daniel, because that's actually been the theme of this weekend, because my guy is very much a counselor type like I am, but when do you step in and when do you not step in? That's a really big thing. And for me, it kind of crosses the line from psychic to online dating host, right? Or counselor or that kind of thing. One of the things I am considering doing, though, is getting more involved in classes where I learn how to be a counselor, to add more of the physical aspect to the mental, emotional, and spiritual, and then maybe volunteer time in a shelter or victim services or something like that. That's more my forte. But as for a dating site, thanks, Daniel, but no. That's a good one. I like it. I keep thinking my guides, guardians, ancestors are rolling their eyes at me sometimes. And this is Kim. I'm gonna put this one up here. They are, Kim. They are at all of us. There are times when guides, guardians, ancestors, they just sit there going, "Oh my God, didn't we tell you not to go down that road?" But we do it anyway. Why? Why don't we listen? Why don't we do that? Because we still have that human part of us. That human part of us that second guesses, that human part of us that goes, okay, I know what I'm feeling right now. I know the guidance I'm being given, but this still feels like the thing I should do. And you do that. And that's part of the human experience. We're here to fall. We're here to make mistakes, right? They're just here to make sure that when we fall, we don't fall so hard that we can't get back up. That's what they're here for. right? And if we do listen, we'll feel it because we'll be in the rhythm of it. And that's the other thing too, going back to Debbie's conversation, that whole idea of how do you know, how does it feel? Do you feel like you're on the right track? Because when you listen to your guides, when you listen to your guardians, when you listen to your ancestors, all of a sudden the way becomes clear. Everything opens up for you, okay? It just becomes easy and it feels like magic, all right? So that's a wonderful comment. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jennifer, who is around me now and what do they want to tell me? Okay, so Jennifer, you do have a few people. There's a woman standing behind you, and this woman stands to your left, so I'm going to assume it is mother's side right now. Also, I wanted to talk about angels and guides and guardians, and that goes to Lori Carrier, but Mike is her other half, which isn't really another half. Oh, happy anniversary! Shout out to Lori Carrier and Mike Carrier. Happy anniversary! You two are awesome. I love you both. These are two people, actually, I have to say this, that really followed their passions, followed their guidance, and they followed their guidance right into each other's arms, and they've been with each other since they were like wee people. So Lori and Mike are very interesting because Mike is an angel seer. He is connected to angels. Angels are a very high being. Okay, but the angels sometimes can feel like they're heavy because of what they work with. Some angels, angels of compassion, will work with those who are downtrodden, with those from Rwanda, children who are living in famine infested countries, all of these different things. Angels are not these beautiful things with wings all the time. I had a woman that I just read recently, and she was saying that she actually connected to something in Italy, and she said she saw it, and it was on the mountain. And we had just been talking about the Apus, and the Apus are the angels of South America who protect the mountains, and they're horrific. They're horrific. I went to a bonding ceremony once and you could see the faces in the smoke. And here's a celebration and you see these like things that look like devils almost. And I have them in pictures somewhere. And what's really interesting is they're the angels. They're the angels of the mountains. They're the ones who scare away the poachers. They live with the grubs and the grime. Right? So they're not going to look the way we archetypally think they will of the medieval Sistine or the Sistine Chapel or the stained glass windows of the medieval times. Angels come to us in different ways and in different circumstances. So someone was asking earlier, how do I connect to my family? I'm sorry, I don't remember who that was. I'm just going to go back here. So Jennifer says I got stuck. That's for the guest thing. Okay, that's fine. So how do I connect to them? Who's around me and how do I connect to them? All right, let's talk about that. How do you connect to them? How do you access your guides? How do you access your guardians? How do you access angels and archangels or any entity? Because let's put it this way, there's so much more out there. What is that line from Shakespeare? God, I hope I quote it well. There is, I'm not going to bother. It's the whole idea, there's so much more than meets the eye kind of deal. Oh God, I used to know my Shakespeare so well. How terrible is this? The reality is that when you call on angels, you might want to call in another entity as well to help you, but you don't know who to call on. So my thing is this, calling on angels is calling on angels. Please help me. Right? Please help me. Whatever angel is out there. I don't know my angels, and there are so many that I don't know exactly one to pick from another, like stones, right? Sometimes stones are so many, you don't know which ones to pick. So a lot of times I'll be like, you know what, whatever angel's out there, I really need you right now to help me. Archangel Shemuel. I'm a Gemini. I am constantly losing stuff. Archangel Shemuel, in the next seconds, please help me find X, Y, and Z. Okay, Archangel Michael when I'm healing, Archangel Raphael. These are the ones I know. Uriel, Uriel, Gabriel, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael. If you want to know about a specific angel, who are the angels of compassion? Go and look it up on the internet. I love the internet. There's nothing wrong with the internet so long as it's utilized well. So for me, you want to find a specific angel to work with, go right ahead. I'm lazy. That's just me. I am okay with that. So what I do is I ask and call in whatever angel wants to work with me. Okay. So Lori said, how do I connect with my ancestors? How do I connect with my grandfather, my grandmother, those I want to talk to? I ask and give permission to all those of the light to help me connect to my dad, to help me connect to my mom, to help me connect to that person who's passed away, to make sure they're okay, and then do nothing. And then it goes back to my conversation with Debbie, dismiss nothing. Allow those feelings to come up, those images, dismiss nothing, say thank you, right? Ask for validation. Did that really happen? Ask after. Experience it while it's happening, and then afterwards ask. And just go, you know what? I need validation. That really happened. I'm not crazy. Please and thank you. Okay. To work with guides, guardians, angels, archangels is good, but if you don't ask them, give them permission, they can only intercede so far in your life. They're only allowed to do so much for you. But when you say, I ask and give permission to all those of the light to X, Y, and Z, all of a sudden you've opened the floodgates. Not only angels, guides, guardians, archangels, anybody, interdimensional beings, guides you didn't even know you have may show up and introduce themselves to you. Okay. I like to do this at night before sleep, because when we're sleeping, we're the most open, and that's when we heal the most. So before I go to bed, I ask and give permission to all those of the light to show me the answer to what it is I need to know tonight. Okay. I ask and give permission to all those of the light to let me see in my dreams the answers to the questions I have tonight. And then all of a sudden, the answers come. You just ask the question and you let it go. Wow, everybody's asking questions today. This is awesome. Cindy, I would like to know my guide's name, as I do ask them for help at times. Like to know my ancestors that come through around me also. So this is another one. Asking names. Your guides and guardians don't necessarily have one. They don't. Sometimes they're common names like Joe or John or Cray or whatever the name might be. Sometimes they're animals who will give you, instead of a name, they might give you a vibration. It depends on who they are. So don't, again, expect the unexpected. Our linear minds say this is what we need and this is how to expect it. You can't in that world. On the other side, there are no limitations, right? So they might show you a color red. And instead of a name, that's the vibration they sit on, right? The color of love, right? Angel of compassion might be pink and white. This is where questions come in. Okay, I'm asking for your name, but you're showing me a color. So why is that? Experience it fully. And then afterwards, go have a coffee, analyze it. Okay, what just happened there? Am I crazy? And that's another way you know you're not crazy. The feeling will be different. There is a shift that will happen in your energy so that when you are tapped in and connected, you'll feel different, even if it's a slight nuance. This weekend, I was asked to talk to a dog who had behavioral issues. I've been working with my own abilities because it is constant movement forward, constant practice on my part. And I sat down and I did nothing. I felt the animal's body first. Because I'm a very physical being, I connect to the body first is what I'm finding. So I connected to the body, then I connected to the spirit, then I connected to the emotions, and I connected to the mental being of this dog. And all of a sudden, they opened up to me. That was it. I did nothing. I didn't even say anything. And I let them come to me. And afterwards, when I was alone in my room, well, after this experience, I went, okay, did that really happen? How do I know that happened? Well, there were earmarks. The dog stopped barking, who always barks and is very aggressive. The dog laid down with me on the other side of the fence. The dog was doing things they don't normally do, and the people who had asked me to do this were confirming it, right? So that's, again, validation, always important. Carmel says, who do you see around me, Angel? Please let me know what they want to pass on or what they're trying to help me with. For you, Carmel, it's really interesting because all I keep seeing is something about property. And I feel like that's important for you to know. And they want you to go to your guides. They want you to go to your guides. They want you to start practicing talking to your guides more, because there are about 2, 3, even 4 of them who actually want to start talking to you. Now, Kim Davies. Hi, Kim. How are you? She says, I always ask for signs, but not sure what to look for. I've heard my name before in my right ear, but that's the only thing I know was a sign to me. Okay, don't look for the signs. Ask for them and then let them show you. You'll know, because you'll look at something and go, whoa, that feels connected to me. That feels connected to this particular situation, right? Is that a sign? Ask. It's like you said, you don't know. Okay, is that a sign? Are you showing me something? Give it to me again, right? So let's say I'm driving down the highway and I see a license plate that says 22222. Oh, okay. Are you trying to show me that I'm on the right track? Because that's what two multiples of 2 mean. And then I'll see another one. Oh, okay. Well, what are you trying to show me exactly? And then I'll say 223. Oh, I'm on the right track and the universe approves. So I keep asking questions. Okay. Approves of what? What do they approve of? And I'll be on my way, let's say, to a veterinary office to see a dog. And then I'll see a car pass by with a dog in it. Why did I look at that particular car? Right? I might be thinking about something, and that's all validating what I'm thinking. So signs come in many ways. Again, it comes back to dismiss nothing. How do you feel in the moment about that sign you think you are being shown? Is there a little bit of a shift? Kim, wonderful, wonderful question. Wonderful. And as for hearing stuff, yeah, sometimes you will. Sometimes you'll hear, but again, don't be linear about it. I woke up one day, I heard something about somebody dying, and I realized, oh my God, it's that person's birthday. And I got a little concerned. And then I realized that they're going through some deep transition. So death doesn't necessarily mean literal. So remember, ask questions, ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. Guides, guardians, angels, archangels, ancestors. I ask and give permission to all those of the light to help me understand what I'm being shown. Now, I'm also going to give you something else that you're going to be able to do to connect to them readily and effortlessly. Carmela Alessandra, I always hear things or think I do. I just don't know how, who is around me. So ask, who are you? What is this? That goes back. Now, that actually triggered something in me, though, in the sense that, remember, signs also come in different ways from your guides, guardians, angels, ancestors. Songs, music is a huge one. One day I was thinking about my dad. And it was not even an oldies station that was on. I can't remember what station it was, but they don't play all these old things. The guy goes, hey, you know what? Today we're going to play some of this Blast from My Past. I want to. And it was, what was it? Seventh Son. It was called The Seventh Son. And it's about the seventh son of a seventh son of a seventh son. What's really funny? It was in that moment that I was drawing this theme on my dad and realized and come to the realization that we have that runs in our family. Really interesting stuff. So that was a sign, hey, you're on the right track. Sometimes you'll get a piece of music that will remind you of an ancestor's trying to talk to you, right? How do you know? Ask. You know, is that you, Dad? Are you trying to talk to me through this song? You know what? You might feel crazy, but who is in the car with you? It's not like you're vocalizing it. It's not like you're verbalizing it. You don't have to. They hear this. They hear your feel. What you feel is real. You've heard that thing, thoughts are things. What you feel is real. It really, really it is. Okay. Feel is where manifestation comes. Sherry Daniels, does she have anything to say? I'm sorry, I didn't catch the first part of your question, so I don't know. Can you reiterate that, Sherry? That would be great. Oh, here, please, Angel. There it is. Is my mom around me? She passed at home and only stared at me. She stared at you because she couldn't believe the wonder of what she was seeing. She was already on the other side when she did that. She's very warm. She's very at peace. She does want to talk to you. All of these questions that people are asking me today, which are wonderful, by the way, thank you. All of these questions that are being asked are things you yourself can tap into. You are intuitive. You can do this. My job is, to really make myself unnecessary. It really is, because you are an intuitive you. I say this to people before you come to me. What are you feeling? What is your truth? Connect to your guides, guardians, and angels. Connect to your family. Talk to them first, because the reality is that it's all here for you. It's here. And that's not to say you shouldn't reach out, right? We all need our posse. Even I do. But before I go to a physical person, I will always go to my guides and my guardians first. I will always go to my higher self first. Segue into the next section. Next section, connecting to your higher self. How do you do that? Because your higher self has all the information. Guides, guardians, angels, archangels, ancestors, wonderful. But nothing beats you. Your own connection to the Akashic Records, the library of all. It's there. You know, I'm a Gemini. And I really think that I was made this way for a very particular purpose. I have 1,001 personalities. Actually, it's not true. My personalities are limitless. We all have limitless personalities. They are all aspects of our higher self. All aspects of our higher self. Different aspects of our higher self. And they're all nuances. Some of them are very obvious parts of who we are, and some of them are so subtle. They're subtle, and it's beautiful. So what I do is I will say, I ask and give permission. I never used to say that. You don't have to say that, but I like to say that now because I always like to give permission. I ask and give permission to that aspect of my higher self that can connect to my angels, that can connect to my dad, that can connect to my guides and find out what their names are, that can give me the signs I'm looking for, who can take me to the next level of who I am. I connect to that higher aspect of who I am that can help me find my professional tribe. Now, I'm saying this, I'm actually calling in those aspects. Okay? I'm calling them in. Really, really, really powerful stuff. Lori, thank you for your happy anniversary message and love any messages from Mike and I. Yeah, you guys are stuck together until you're old and decrepit, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. I see you, Truthy smiles. Oh my God, I just saw this. Okay, so Lori, I don't know if you've ever seen The Princess Bride, which I'm sure you have. You know the little old couple who brings the character back to life, who sees him as almost dead. You know that little Billy Crystal character? Yeah, that's you and Mike. Yeah, that's you too. So they need you to know that you're going to grow old and decrepit together, but always in love. And that's a really beautiful message for you. Do you see someone that's named John around me? His phone number comes to me every day. I do, but it's very interesting because you're not ready to step on that path with him. I see a log. You know how the log drivers used to step on the logs and they turn them and it was a real play. But if somebody who doesn't understand log driving steps on a log, it just tips like that. It goes like that and you fall off the log, right? Have you ever tried to run a log and you fall off into the water? Right now, you guys are not in tune or in balance to find each other, but you will. And he's the one who's going to step on it first. And I see you hopping on and you'd be like, whoa, wait a second. Who are you? How do you balance my life in that way? So the log is earth, right? And that represents earth, and earth and water is a really nice balance. So yeah, I do see him, but you're not ready yet. You're not ready to meet him in whatever capacity. It doesn't necessarily even mean intimate, although I see a very personal connection. Jennifer, you said you see 3 people who are they? I do. I saw, I believe it was a female, and I'd have to re-tap into that. And sometimes that happens too. When you're connecting to guides and guardians, you may lose the connection. That's okay. Just ask for it again. Okay, guys, you know what? I'm sorry, I wasn't focused. I need to come back to this. They'll come back to you, okay? I don't know who they are at the moment. I feel like they're ancestors, definitely. There's an older woman, and then there are 2 others, and I don't know who they are. And you also have guides as well. Mary, can transitions make you feel at peace for over a couple of days? Yes, so transitions, really important time to call on your guides, guardians, angels, archangels. Transition, illness, situations in your life. But you don't always have to call on them when things are going bad. You can call on them when things are going good, going well. What is wrong with me today? When things are going well, you can call on your guides and guardians and go, you know what, keep this up. Let's keep moving this energy. Let's keep moving this flow. I feel so good. Thank you. That's a time of gratitude. Thank you so much for making my life awesome. Thank you so much for everything. And when you feel like your life is in not a great place, you know what? I call on my guides and guardians. I give you permission to intercede in my life and help me in this situation. And I am so grateful for your help. I am so grateful and appreciative of all those things you're helping me learn here, all those lives you're helping me connect to. So gratitude is really big for them too. Don't forget to say thank you. Guides, guardians, ancestors, you know, it's like working with a coworker. Sometimes you take it for granted. I do, like 17 years, sometimes you just take it for granted they're there. You know, I have an animal guide that I work with. His name is Franz. He's a little ferret, and he helps me bring those over from the other side that I have trouble connecting to. He's awesome. And sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget to work with him. And that's another thing. Don't forget to work with them, because then they feel alone. They feel unwanted. Not alone, but they feel unwanted, right? Think of how you would feel if you're part of a team and nobody calls on you. People say to me all the time, you know, I don't want to ask too many things. I don't want to burden people. I don't want to burden the entities. I don't want to burden the angels and the archangels. You're not. They're limitless. Their power is more grand than you could ever possibly imagine. Ever, 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 ever. You are not burdening your ancestors. You are not burdening your angels and guides and guardians. They want to be there for you, like a best friend over coffee. Okay, so chicka chicka chicka. Are you guys enjoying the show? Because if you're enjoying the show, I want to see some hands. I want to see some loves. I want to see that kind of thing. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for being here. Please understand too that a lot of this stuff is also on my page, on my website in the healing space. It's raisingenergy.com/healing space. You'll find cleansings, clearings, all that kind of stuff there. So asking to connect to your higher self is really important. I ask and give permission to all those of the light. Oh, they're my loves, my likes. Asking and giving permission to speak to guides and guardians, speak to angels, to know them more deeply. This is really important because there's an aspect of you or aspects of you that will be able to connect more freely than your conscious mind. So all of these things are about getting past your conscious mind. But your conscious mind is going to go, oh, my head's playing tricks on me. This can't possibly be happening. It is happening. And it's okay. When you're a child, you don't question if you have imaginary friends. They're just there, right? Why question anything? If it's to your benefit, who cares if it's real or not? Who cares? Does it help you? Does it put you at peace? Does it put others at peace? And then as time goes on, you'll gain confidence. Going back to Debbie again, it's about confidence. The more experiences you have, the more you trust, the more you don't dismiss. The more you go, oh my God, this is real. This has happened again. You'll be able to recreate the experience in different ways, but you'll be able to find confidence in each one. Kim, if you've been working on your spiritual path, connections, intuition, how do you know if you're improving? I know, I should know, right? I love the way she put that. This is a really, really great question too, because the reality is how do you know you're growing? How do you know? You know you're growing because you can feel it inside. Your abilities start to shift. Your abilities start to shift. You start to feel different in your life. Sometimes your likes and dislikes will change. You loved purple, but now you love green. You loved hamburgers. Now you don't feel like eating meat. Your favorite animal is horses, but now they're domesticated cats. Your interests will change because what's happening is you're shifting your vibration. And when you shift a vibration successfully, something in your life will shift. So if you're a needy person who constantly needed to be around people and be social and have all kinds of friends, all of a sudden you're going, you know what? I just need those 2 or 3 people. So for me, isolation has been very transitional. So for me, it's been about, I love being around people, especially this way, but I'm quite a homebody. I'm quite a homebody. Being in public sometimes makes me feel uncomfortable. This is when I have to call my guides and guardians and please lay the foundation for me today to feel comfortable in this particular situation. Right? I love being at home. I love being on my own alone. I love doing this. I love doing appearances. I love connecting to people one-on-one. But when I'm home, I'm home. I love my coffee. I love my whitey. I love my snake. But it's not something I ever really connected to until isolation. It's always been about being on target, being what I need for others. Well, what about those moments I need to be for me? And that gives me more energy now, which is heightening my vibration, which is actually changing my abilities. I'm so excited. All right, so let's see. Carmela, where is the weirdest place? Hold on a second. Okay, we're going to hide that one. I need a production manager is what I need. Where is the weirdest place you've ever had your spirits guides have come to? Oh my God, that is such a, I'd have to think about that for a second. My guides and guardians, the weirdest place, actually meeting one of my guides and guardians was a very exceptional experience. So I have taught history and paganism in history. That is a gorgeous profile pic, by the way, Camilla. Pagan history in high schools. And so I am very versed in many different cultures. So one day I got out of my car and I had these big black sunglasses. I loved them. But the right eye kept popping out and popping out and popping out. And at that time, I had been studying the Hudan culture, the voodoo culture, which I absolutely adore. It's such a beautiful history, beautiful medicines, beautiful healing work. And it was really interesting because I didn't make a connection to anything really supernatural. And then I was in the chapters one day, and this book fell out. And it was the book of, I think, 5,000 Spirits, which I have and I love. If anybody wants to know about guides, guardians, angels, archangels, it's called the Encyclopedia. The Encyclopedia of Spirits. And you can get it at chapters. And it has everything, right from A to Z, and the information is so accurate. So literally, it fell off the shelf, which happens to me a lot. It opened up onto a deity that was Baron Samedi. And he is, or Baron Lequa, or Baron Saturday. It depends He's a crossroads keeper in that particular culture. And what's really, really cool is that I was reading it. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to read this. I'm really drawn to this particular character. And I read it, and they said, when Baron Samedi wants to come to you, your glasses, the right lens of your glass, will pop out. La, 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 what? And what's really funny is that at that time, a lot of my work was crossroads work. And crossroads work is helping people cross over, helping removals, doing stuff like that. And he became a deity that I work with even to this day. Like, he's awesome. And what's even crazier is his wife. Her name is Mama Brigitte. And Mama Brigitte, she's always been important to me, but I actually mistook her for another goddess. And so I always thought it was a Celtic goddess I was connected to, but it turned out that it was actually this particular goddess, because the Celtic goddess Bridget is the goddess of fire. Mama Brigitte, she is his wife, and she rocks it so hard. She has a part of my heart and my personality. Like, she is amazing. And I started to realize, wow, you know what? I think that all of these deities are of one, but this is the aspect of Bridget that I really love. So let's talk about that for a minute. Okay. Let's talk about the idea that it is the many faces of one. So when we talk about source, God, the universe, and thank you so much, Carmela, for that question. That was very loving to ask that particular thing. Think of a diamond. A diamond has many facets or many faces, yes? Each face is the way, let's take God, will come to you, okay? Or source will come to you. So source is great creator. That is the diamond. But then I believe in Buddha. So that vibration of Buddha is how that face shows itself to me. I'm pagan, so I believe in the goddess. That face shows itself as the feminine aspect of source. I believe in, whatever, Hecate or Thoth or Odin or whatever the case might be, Diana. This is how source shows itself to you, because that is your vibration and your frame of reference. You believe in angels. That is another face of source. You connect to your higher self. Guess what? You are of the divine. That is another face of source. And this is what I used to teach kids in my world religions classes. And you would see these light bulbs go off, because they'd start to realize that, wait a second, my God is your God, my deity is your deity. No deity is better than other deities. Wait, spirits are connected, and they're all deriving their abilities and their powers from that one source, that great creator, whatever that is, whether that is a person or an entity or a melting pot. It doesn't even matter. People ask me all the time, what do you connect to? I connect to different things depending on the situation, but I don't really care what I connect to, so long as it benefits and it's of the light. Right? That's a huge thing for me. Let's see, what do I have here? Oh, so many lovely questions today. I found the more I meditate, the more I open my mind to them. I get most signs when I am asking for others, Carmel says. So here's the thing, meditation, fantastic. So long as you can get out of your own way. Because the reality is meditation is not just this. Meditation can be riding your bike in the forest. Meditation is anything that has no distraction. Okay, that is a form of meditation. Ironing is a form of meditation. Vacuuming, that's Carlson, loves to vacuum. You can see him go kind of into himself and zoom out of this world. It's a really amazing thing to be able to meditate, because it takes you out of your head and into your body. Because our society is so tangible, we're thinkers. We're all thinkers. Some most more than others, because of our signs, our charts, or what have you. Our circumstances, the jobs we do put us more in our head. But when we do forms of meditation, sports, anything that takes us into our bodies, all of a sudden we are rebalancing ourselves and we become open. Okay, so meditation is wonderful. Eating right is another one that puts us into a space, because again, it's about balance. Now, when I talk about balance, I'm not talking about being frou-frou fluff bunny. Oh, I always have to be up here to connect to the angels. No, that's not true. You can have a really crappy day and still connect to an angel. Okay, you can do that. You just have to be able to put yourself aside a little bit in your stuff to be able to connect and go, okay, you know what? I'm present. And how do you become present? It's a body thing. It's a feel thing. Becoming present is different for each of us. So it could be going for a walk, listening to music, talking to friends grounds us. I wasn't having the greatest day yesterday, so I called a friend of mine, and then another friend called me. And by the end of those conversations, I felt fantastic, wonderful. I'm blessed, right? Other people go and play squash. Other people cook. That's how you become present. So let's see, Sherry Daniels, loving it, loving you guys too. Renee St. John, hi, Angel. I lost someone special and just wanted to know if he is okay and at peace. Yeah, I feel this is very recent. I'm sorry, I keep seeing a dog, so I don't know if he had a dog, but I feel like there's something about that dog. He's happy. There's a happiness, like either when he's with the dog or when he's with an animal. I don't know what that is, but I feel like there's joy there's acceptance there's a little bit of sadness because he didn't want to leave as soon as he did, but please understand, he's fully at peace now. Thank you for understanding the way he went, and now he's kind of walking away with the dog. He's walking away with the dog. I hope that helps. So let's see. This is an amazing explanation. Thank you, Karen. Sorry, Kim. I appreciate you saying that. I love doing these shows because I love sharing. But the biggest thing I love about sharing is helping you understand how easily you yourself can connect to these worlds, because they're innately part of us. Those worlds are as tangible as this one that we live in, as tangible as picking up my show mug. Commercial spot. The reality is that because we cannot see it, because we cannot physically hear it or taste it or smell it, we have a hard time accepting it. When we close our eyes, all of a sudden, our psychic five senses kick in, okay? Our third eye, our clairsentience, our clairaudience, our ability to taste in the other world. We have 5 extrasensory senses that are the opposition to our 5 physical senses that actually work together. When you taste, you feel, right? When you see, you experience, you feel. When you hear, you actually feel. It all is connected by feel. So feel. Whenever you are asking yourself, is this a real experience? First of all, ask it later, not in the moment. And feel the moment. Feel it. You'll know because you'll feel the difference, the shift, even if it's a split second, okay? Let's see. I'm just going to go back a little bit because I want to see if I missed anyone, which I'm sure I did because everybody's got great questions today. Chicka choo. So here, beautiful picture behind you. Oh, thank you. Yes, I love my trees. That's the other thing too. The more grounded you are in who you are, that's important to be able to connect to your guides and guardians and spirits. So I'm very connected to nature. So because the more I connect to nature, the more my nature spirits will be able to connect to me. If I'm connected to angels and archangels, then that's a higher vibration. You can't sit in that vibration all the time. That will actually make you sick. Okay. Just like being on a lower vibration can make you sick, like addiction or that kind of thing. Being on a higher vibration can actually cause mental stress and mental situations. It can cause spiritual chaos in you. We're not meant as human beings to stay on one vibe or in a higher vibration. We're meant to play all of them. So the only way we can do that is to surround ourselves with the things we love, which comes back to last week's show on feng shui, which you can actually find on YouTube and on Facebook if you want to catch it. It was all about feng shui and live with what you love, which is the black hat sect feng shui way of thinking, which is more of a Western kind of way of thinking. Sherry says she's a Capricorn. Funny enough, Capricorns are interesting. Every sign has their intuitive ability. Every sign has the ability to connect to guides and guardians, but the thing is they'll do it in their own way, in their own vibration, okay? Debbie says, I feel like I'm a true Aquarian, but have been told I have a lot of Gemini and rising Sagittarius. Also, can you speak in your mind what you want to ask or do or need or speak out loud? No, you can do it in your mind. Again, it's about feel. What you say in your mind is connected to what you feel, and what you feel is what's being interpreted. So I did a ceremony once, and I didn't know what to ask for from these very particular celestial angels. And I wrote down, whatever my deepest desires are, please bring me that. And I meant for the moment, but I've noticed that since that day, whatever my deepest and truest desires are, they actually manifest for good or for bad. Okay, so remember that what you feel becomes real. But even those things that we perceive as bad, those are perceptions. Go to your guides and guardians, your angels and your archangels, your higher self. What is going on? Why does this feel so bad? Tell me, show me what it is I'm supposed to learn here. How do I navigate this? I love that word, navigate. How do I move through this? Okay, love that. I'm a Pisces. I feel a lot of people around me. Pisces, extremely empathic and sensitive. Sometimes I talk to one and no sooner see or hear something that has to do with them. Absolutely. That happens to me actually before I go into a reading. Something will happen where it will help me connect to the client that I'm coming into. For you, because you're empathic and connecting to somebody, that energy will follow you, or it will validate whatever the situation is for you. And I love those validations. Those are beautiful. So they may happen before you meet someone or after you meet someone. That's a beautiful thing to stay, Carmel. Thank you so, so much. Because those are the confirmations as well. You talk to someone, right? And then all of a sudden something happens that connects to the situation you were in. That's validation. That's a sign right there, right? You might see a picture. You might hear somebody say something, whatever the case might be. There's something else that was connected to that, and I can't remember. I can't remember. Jesus, we're already at 2:00. Holy macaroni and cheese. If you want to know, Scorpios, very, very interesting. So Jennifer says she's a Scorpio. Now, Scorpios have a tendency to self-sabotage, okay? But a Scorpio in balance, that's someone who really flows with it. Now, Scorpios are the easiest ones to know whether or not you're growing with your abilities, because everything feels good. You don't feel cranky. You don't feel angry. Your temper doesn't kick in as quick, because Scorpios have a fiery nature. When it feels tempered and more like a calm water, like a pool or a lake or a really nice calm breeze in an ocean, that's how you know that you're in that right vibration for you at the moment. And sometimes your edginess is what's showing you that you're transitioning. So you particularly, Jennifer, have to honor those moments. If you're feeling edgy, cloister yourself for a while, because there's a transition happening. I can't say that for all Scorpios. Okay, transition happens for everybody in a different way, and you can ask your guides and guardians for assistance with that. All right. Nancy says she's a Cancerian. Cancerians, they're family people. What can you say? You ground yourself in family. Ask for your family, guides, guardians, angels, archangels. Cancerians are great at that. I call and give permission to help my son through his test, to help my husband go through whatever he's going through. These are very huge steps for people, because now it's not about you, it's about others, and you can see things unfolding in their lives. Never be afraid to ask. Never be afraid to give permission. If it comes from a place of love and light and healing, put it out there. Throw it out there as much as you can. We can't have enough of it. It's amazing how we don't hesitate when we want to fight for something or stand for something, but then we hesitate with love. We hesitate. Should I do that? Am I imposing on their will if I send them healing? Why would you be imposing on somebody if you're sending them healing and sending them love? Now, to actually work on them, yes, you have to get permission, right? Like if I'm a massage therapist, I'm not going to just go and throw somebody on my table and start massaging them. They have to come to me and say, look, can you work on me? But to send love, to send healing, to say, hey, I connect to their guides and guardians and angels, please help them in whatever way they need. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like praying. It is. It's a different form of invocation, okay? Marlene Snyder, I only have time for a couple more questions. I'm feeling inspired and I'm grateful for your sharing. I'm feeling angel chills, something resonating within. Would you be open to sharing your thoughts on clearing energy, being an empath, and what helps with events occurring in our homes, dense energy, chaos? Wow, that's a huge thing. I did actually do a show on cleansing, clearing. However, you have triggered what our next show is going to be. You have hit it. Next week's show is going to be on being empaths. Empathy, what is empathy? How do we work with empathy? How do we live with empathy? Children who, Cindy Werman, I'm a Libra, speaking of being empathic. That's what our next show next week's going to be about. So please, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to tune in, because that's a huge one, especially where psychic ability is concerned, because that really is a starting point for a lot of people. Remember, we talked about feel, but it goes way more than that. And next week, I think we need to dedicate a show to empaths, empathy, and all of that kind of stuff. And maybe even leading up to that, I will try to do a lead up to the show, since we already know what it's going to be. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. I truly appreciate you. Marlene, I will actually answer your question. I'm going to snapshot what you've asked, and we're going to talk about that next week. But I do have a show on cleansing and clearing. You can go to YouTube. You can find it here faster to find it on YouTube at Raising Energy. If you want to know more about me, those who are new to our show, you can go to raisingenergy.com, or you can go to my Instagram page at Raising Energy. I also have an animal site, angelmorganpetpsychic.com. I also have a Facebook page connected to that. So please feel free to check those out. And my blog. My blog talks about all this stuff. This show is basically an extension of that. And that's called mypsychiclifestyle.com. So please check me out, everybody. And I hope you have a fantastic day. I think we're going to have a really great show next week. I want everybody to have a lovely show this week. Take a breath, have a coffee, sit down, be curious, sit with your cat, have a coffee, have a great day. I'm talking too much, so I'm going to let you go, and have a good one.